The Gyro with Omni Knight is a really good pairing. Gyro hits this mid-game timing where he's really strong with drums and Flat Cannon being maxed out and called on level 2.
Hmm.
And what he needs is somebody to keep him safe so that he can get all his damage out and be in the center of the fight to deal more damage with Rocket Barrage. And that's something that Omni Knight brings to the table with the Heavenly Grace. However, their lineup has no real stun right now, and if you're Gyro, you really love if your team can set you up for that cooldown. So we're gonna expect a little bit of something to come out here in this pick, maybe for Raging Potato, or it could be a position 5 Omni Knight, which we haven't even talked about yet. That
Yeah.
is also a possibility, and then they get an active offlaner in the way of the Sanking, for example.
Yeah, I don't think we really talk though like about support Omni Knight, mainly because you never really feel the presence of support Omni Knight. It's like the 3 position, you farm up, you're able to have auras, you can actually be on the front lines. Like, what does the support do, especially when you got a Crystal Maiden? It's I can spam some abilities, but
Yep, that's kind of
like
good for Omni.
it's just that lack of stuns though. Like without that control.
Yeah, you would need, if you play Omni 5, you need an active 3 that like really does stuff in the game.
Yeah.
Or you need a strategy that plays around Omni as a group, so you don't need to catch so much. I love this Grimstroke pick. It's a hero we haven't seen that much this tournament so far, but he has excellent synergy with his teammates. It's really good with Sven. The Grimstroke Sven combo is a classic. Sven has a setup stun. You ink swell him, you run in. If you get a Soulbind, you have double Stormhammer, which is very powerful in team fights.
You got the double nuke as well from
You
Lena.
got the double Laguna Blade. You got double Gush, which is like a, it's not just added benefit. That's not like a classic pairing,
Hmm.
but just having these extra things, it just feels nice when you're in the game. When you're Grimstroke and you feel like I can ulti and it's gonna be great, you're very happy.
Okay, now I may actually entertain the idea of a support Omni Knight, but it's probably a 4 Enigma. But
Could be for
it's
Enigma 5 and Maiden.
both Omni as well as Enigma are heroes that KP does definitely play a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing against BKB Black Hole right now. They have no BKB piercing stuns. They could go Ags on Lena to kind of blow up the Enigma if he takes any damage before he goes in, but that's about it. So Enigma is one of those heroes that is really good against Sven in the way that even when Sven is super farmed, if you get caught by Midnight Pulse and Black Hole, do massive damage to him. The lockdown is really long, and that's usually when your team can focus fire him. So I like the idea, but we're running into this problem now that where's the catch? Where's the fight? How do you start team fights that favor you for mineski?
And you see LGD's understanding that. Like they ban out Moon's Tiny.
Yep.
They know you like you can toss a Enigma in, you can rush up your BKB if you wanted to instead of having to have the Blink Dagger.
Oh, that would be next level. That's true.
That would be next level, but LGD sees it. That's just an easy ban against Moon too.
Yeah, it's stable. It's a mid hero that can also lane against Lina while being a playmaker. I think what Mineski could end up going for is a Kunkka. I don't know if Moon really plays that hero, but that would be a catch team fighter that enables Gyro, and he has Maiden Aura for Kunkka, which is also a nice luxury to have.
It still feels
And
like they need a
he
little
lanes
bit
well
more
against
like
Lina,
they need
so.
some like more direct push though, right? Because you don't have like the tower damage. It's
Dragon Knight?
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like DK, he can tank through. You got to do your initiation.
DK's alright. The lane against Lina can be pretty rough, though, I think. Maybe it's okay.
And it still requires a large amount of
The ban
farm.
OD, that could be a hint. Yep.
Yeah, DK.
And then the Lina will be probably facing this guy, and they pick a 5. Or they... Maybe there's more value in getting a bigger favored matchup mid, because this DK will go mid, right?
Yeah.
You could possibly put one of the other cores mid, like Gyro could go mid and DK can go to one of the side lanes, but I don't think he enjoys either of the side lanes. He would be playing against Tide, which is not nice, or he would be playing against this killer lane that can kill him early on before he gets points up in Dragon Blood. So I kind of like the idea of counterpicking this DK mid instead of putting Lina mid for maybe.
Mhm.
Timbersaw
Yeah.
looks pretty hot.
Timber looks amazing.
Razor is a possibility. It's also good against Gyro and Omni, because, you know, Static Link is really annoying for these heroes.
Can we not have a Razor for our first game of the day though? Oh, damn it.
Oh, there you go.
Razor is one of the very few heroes that actually puts me to sleep.
Really?
But yeah,
I kind of like Razor.
like it's like that slow build up of hey, I've static linked you and things are now becoming a little more interesting, kind of style.
I think it's a really good pick this game.
Yeah, there really doesn't seem to be much that's gonna instantly get through him. And mineski have to disengage, and they don't like. There's actually one of the few teams like because like there's no centaur. Like how do you run away? Like mineski's like I just run directly at you.
Yeah, they have plenty of stun. They have really good team fight. They have favorable lanes, I would argue. And Razor has an added benefit in this game of being what's the word for this? Hybrid damage carry, right? Or core. He has really good magic damage too around the mid game timing with both the plasma field as well as the unstable current. So even into Omni Knight ulti, Razor can find kills in fights. And that's useful because Sven gets relatively hard countered by Omni ult. Although he can choose, which I would love to see in this game, Sven can actually get the Stormhammer Dispel's talent, which can remove GA on a target. So maybe he'll go that route.
That is a beautiful Lina set.
That is really cool. I think is that a China-only item?
No, that's the Arcana as well as the Immortal Skirt.
Wasn't there one? I feel like there's one item in this that I haven't really seen in Europe. Let me see. Disciple of the Wormrite. That's just immortal. Oh, he has the golden Braces of Smoldering Journey. No, you're right. There's nothing.
Yeah, it's just the Immortal and the Arcana.
Yep.
Like, yeah, and some basic arms. And for some reason, like, I always look at that chest piece, and it's just like I've got Iron Man. Like that's all that really is.
Okay, so
yeah, let's focus on the game.
Let's focus on what lanes mineski can win here, realistically, with their lineup. I think the mid lane's going to be rough. We'll see how well Moon does against maybe's Razor. Top lane, they have currently placed 3 heroes with, it is indeed a, wait, it's a position 4 Omni.
It is. It's Ragey Potato Omni and KP3.
Not sure how big a fan of that I am, but we'll wait.
It
hold our judgment.
It makes sense though, right? Because you need KP to get to the BKB.
Yeah, we could play a 5 Omni and a 4 Maiden then.
Yeah.
Because I don't... Does Omni really benefit from being a 4 that much? Is he able to find the farm? He's not a 4 that, you know, makes moves. So if you're playmaking, your most playmaking support is a Maiden and it's a 5. It's generally relatively difficult to find plays, but...
Well, they're going to try and have a bit of a play. He's putting resistance up at Inkswell. Yeah, you don't want to have any kind of part of that. So...
3 runes for Ulgd.
For who?
Ulgd.
Do you want to translate that one out of Danish?
Ulgd. What do you mean translate? How would you pronounce LGD in one word except like that?
I thought you were saying Ugd. I'm like...
Ulgd.
Ulgd.
You can't even do it. I love it.
This guy has no Alright.
Okay.
Everyone knows I'm linguistically challenged. And Nico, FY just trying to beat the crap out of him on bottom lane.
This is the kind of matchup that you love playing Lina in. If you're playing against a carry that has short range or melee, you get so many free hits in while the carry is trying to CS, and your your matchup against the other support is just a lane support that's flat out weaker than you in the beginning. Like you win the trades with Maiden no problem, and Ninja Boogie even only has 4 tangos, whereas FY is sitting on 6 tangos and a salve.
You get your answer as well, by the way, up on the top lane. So, like, Ragey Potato was actually playing the lane. You see his item builds actually got him to stay in there, and KP's playing the jungle.
Okay.
So, while KP is the normal 3 position of mineski, obviously they feel a lot more confident just having him on Enigma, even if he has to play this 4 role.
Okay.
Because really, a jungle Enigma, if he's not contested, it's already a 3.
Kinda, yeah. Not sure how good the lane mechanics are of Raging Potato, though. Be interesting to see. Speaking of lane mechanics, maybe showing good form in mid so far. That was not so good form on the dragon.
Yeah.
Breathe fire.
Just have a look over there. It's like with the breathe fires, you can understand the spammer, but if you're able to, like the Soul Ring when it used to be the build-in for DK, now it's just braces and treads and be a little bit more timely on your breathe fires. FY is not wanting to let this pull go easily. But at least they're able to change the lane. Let's Nico farm a little bit safer underneath the tower. His CS is not fantastic.
This is a very good rune. Because even though mineski knows FY got this rune, they don't know where the play is coming. They're going to use a scan mid to get that feeling of safety, which I kind of like this scan, because if FI were to come mid, they would know, and now that he's not there, they're isolating that he is bottom.
Yep.
If you didn't use a scan here, you have to play safe in both lanes, and that's going to cost you CS. So, nice little detail.
Yeah.
Misses the stun.
Charles willing to take that kind of damage. He's still got Salve and 4 tangos available, so it's not a scary thing up on top. That's a little bit more scary. Ragey Potato has no heal available. He'll have to get... He's got the Heavenly Grace, so that's where your heal comes in, combining with the Salve. But he's running very low on mana.
And on resources in general. He has 1 tango left. The Maiden Aura is going to help him a lot. I think this might be the kind of game on Ninja Boogie where you could... you go 1-1-1 and then you probably go Aura on level 4. FY?
Yeah, they're chasing him down.
He's dead.
Nico's got a level 2 Rocket Barrage, and with that, yeah, more than enough damage to get through FY.
No, it's uncharacteristic for FY. He's lost track of where the enemy carry was and just had a fight with a Maiden. That's a really good start for this bottom lane, which was kind of struggling, but now that Jaru got first blood, he's somewhat caught up to the tide. And the reason his lane is so hard is that, again, it's the support, right? It's Alina bullying the Maiden and bullying him at the same time, so full on free farm for Chalice in the meantime.
The Maiden actually had to walk all the way back to base too.
Yeah.
But every time these Light Striker Rays continue to hit over on Nico, someone's going to bring him some life. Oh, hey, Courier. What perfect timing. Up towards the top. Arme dropping low KP. He's actually rotating in at the moment. So he'll go for the Malphite stun over to X-Nova with a level 2 conversions. The damage output. Grimstroke's going to tick out. And Arme starting to feel the pressure. Some of the greatest ways, like Enigmas, like coming in early and actually doing something. Not just sitting inside the jungle farming up. Getting involved in the game and not just...
He even has a Ring of Bassi, so that's really useful when he is in the lane together with Omni Knight. There's that little bit of extra mana regen helps quite a bit. Now he has Maiden Aura and Bassi. You see his mana regen is up to about 3. It looks like KP might be dancing. Okay. And switching back to the jungle.
Yeah.
Bounty runes.
5-minute ones they're playing for. Arme's doing as much damage to Ragey Potato at the moment as, well, yeah, goodbye Boogie.
Super dead. But Nico, it snuck past and got a rune. This could actually end up almost costing him his life. Okay, it's fine. We'll go back to the shrine.
End up being a 2-2 trade.
Yeah.
And this mid lane's just gone absolutely nowhere. Apart from Razor just, like, double CSing against Moon.
This is in... I think if both players are equal in skill, I think this is the expected outcome, honestly. I would give maybe a slight edge on lane mechanics over Moon, but he's also super favored here. This is an excellent Razor matchup. And sometimes when people counterpick, they look very much at, okay, how do we beat this guy in lane, which is one aspect, but it's also about how good are you against him in the game. Light Strike's going to miss, Nico will run away here. But yeah, that's the other part of it, right? You can counterpick an enemy hero in lane, which is a classic Huskar thing, right? Huskar counters an enemy hero in lane, but then it's about, well, do you counter them for the rest of the game as well? And that's where Razor comes in handy against Dragon Knight, because he's just good against him the whole time.
So much damage being stolen away from him, but with the Dragon Tail stun, Somnus. Okay, well, Moon turned around, he came back in for this, but Somnus still has way too much damage.
Whoops.
Yeah.
That ain't good too.
And now Somnus is going to grab the regen rune up on top, so everything expended will be regained.
I'm not a mid lane expert, Toby, but I do want to say that was a mistake. I think that was not what you wanted to do there.
Yeah.
And that's bad news, because he died to the Siege Creep wave, and he had Dragon Form running. So now there is a possible power play here. Either Razor can do what he's doing right now, which is go top and find a fight there, or he could keep putting pressure on mid. Now this should be reported by the Dragon Knight, because, you know, Razor just killed him.
And Ragey Potato's been doing this for the last 2 minutes, sitting behind the tower, so he's dead. No way to survive this, just sticks up, that so much damage again being stolen. 2-2-4. So 2 kills in the span of 30, 45 seconds for the Razor.
Line. I love that kill line from Razor. I don't know if does it play the same kill line for everyone in the game? Or is it individual client? Did he say he zapped your ass on your client too?
Well, remember, you're getting my audio.
That's true, I'm hearing yours. So that's a bad...
So,
true.
yes, he did say that in my client.
Yeah, but the question still stands. I'm actually not sure if everybody hears the same sounds in the game. Maybe they... I think they do?
It should be triggered the same way. Because most of those lines are actually triggered right because of the interaction between the heroes, like specific ones.
Yeah, but there's sometimes they have... like that one, for example, is just generic. That is, Razor kills a hero that he does not have a specific kill line for, right? So maybe it would select from, you know, 5 or 10 different ones. I'm not sure.
Hey, well,
it was one of the good ones, though.
We can just walk out the door, ask a couple of people from Valve, and they'll be like, "Yeah,
They'll
this is
like,
the way this works."
They'll be like, probably discover a bug then. Like, oh, it works like that? We didn't know for 7 years.
Smart from KP. Using his conversions to scout the high ground. Moon,
Oh,
however, is not where
again.
he wants to be. Static Link comes in, but with the Storm Bolt, he's got no way to walk away, and this is why the Razor pickup is just so good. Moon can't do anything. Razor is 4,000 net worth 8 minutes into this game, and the closest to him is actually the DK at 2.5k.
Moon's game is... If you die on your first 2 Dragon forms with barely hitting the tower, Dragon Knight is very, very sad.
Yeah, they've done almost no damage to that tier 1.
That's the one redeeming factor the hero has when it loses its lane, is that you can at least rotate to the mid lane and start getting the tower. But if you die on the first 2 Dragon forms, on his 3rd one, the Razor's going to be so strong that if he's there, there's no way. Razor would probably beat Dragon Knight +1, 1-on-2 in any fight right now. I don't see who could come and gank there.
Oh, and in fact, Razor's looking for his own fight down on bottom lane.
Spotted on a ward, though.
Yep. But there's so many dire observe wards up on top lane that X-Nova, he can just be a little bit more defensive. Level 3 strokes up, so getting rid of conversions is pretty fast too. But the tier 1 tower is still going to die.
That's good. At least something going Mineski's way so far. That's the first really good thing to happen for them in this game, apart from the first blood.
And it actually comes from the Omni Knight lane.
Yeah. I think you might need to try to keep this ball rolling. In a lot of Enigma games, you would advise the team to just play a little slow, wait for Enigma's timing, farm up. But... Oh, ball down. Nice.
Yeah.
Good space. The thing is, if they don't put more pressure with this Enigma and maybe rotate mid and start hitting this tower with the Dragon form, Moon's game is going to feel bad still. They're going to bring Omni Knight bottom to protect the gyro. Bounty runes are coming up. He's going to get zoned off.
Yeah, they definitely can't fight Somnus. He is way too big. But it's still, yeah, KP going to grab both the bounty runes up on top. FY, on the back of a hate, someone's going to frostbite him and hold him there for the moment, but Ninja Boogie, so much straight up damage, and Somnus, you know, this movement speed, 371, even without the phase, but it's 401 with him. That Crystal Maiden's not running away.
319 with boots. Yay!
That's the CM for you.
That is CM.
Well, here's your 3rd Dragon form from Moon. Able to get some damage into this mid tower. Raging Potato has to sit behind him and support him. The bottom tier 1 tower has been taken by LGD in the meantime. But while that's happening, KP is still adding more pressure up towards the top lane.
I actually like this split more than what I suggested. I think this is really good. Putting the Omni Knight mid with the Dragon Knight to protect him and hit the tower. Instead of bringing Eidolons and Enigma to do the extra damage, I think the protection has more value. And you, like you said, you let Enigma do the split push top and get more farm toward the key item that could bring them back in the game.
Yep.
I think this is a really nice choice. Now Dragon Form's expired, so they didn't get the full tower, but on the 4th Dragon Form, surely they will get it if Omni Knight sticks around for another minute and a half.
KP's pressure on the top lane is keeping Ame up here.
Yeah.
So he's either having to farm the jungle, which is underneath Radiant Vision. And if he moves off that, then Moon will also see
Omni.
it.
Ah, he's fast. He's really fast. He's really fast on Omni when he activates phase boots. 450 move speed, thereabout. Something to keep in mind about these phase boots on Razor, right? How much worse they are on ranged heroes compared to melee. They only give 10% move speed on ranged heroes and 22 on the melee heroes. Omni Knight gets way more value when he activates them. If phase boots were as good on ranged heroes as they are on melee, they would be an item. Let me tell you, they would be an item.
Hey,
They also give less damage. Not so much.
Oh, I mean, double damage room for Moon. Maybe now with his Dragon Form up, he can finally take out this mid-tier 1 tower.
Yeah, pretty sure he's going to go for it. Omni stuck around for the whole time farming jungle, so he can now rotate over and help. used the majority of his mana though, but he has Clarity plus Maiden Aura plus Bassi, so his regen right now is 8 a second. That's really, really high.
I think KP's been waiting to... Okay, nice dot tick that gets the tower. KP's been wonder what he'd actually buy up if he needs the Blink Dagger, but he knows he needs both Blink and BKB. So instead he gets the Midas 12 minutes in.
Should I buy Blink or BKB?
Oh, should I just get both?
Midas.
After I get some money. Unfortunately, he's farmed up all these camps, so there's no efficiency for him. It's just...
Could Midas the creep wave.
Yeah.
He's gonna wait though, it looks like. Can I just... I think Midas efficiency is overrated, by the way.
Well, Chalice left
like,
him a wolf.
Sometimes people panic, and they're like, I have to use Midas, it's ready. But in the grand scheme of things, if you think about it, 5 or 10 seconds difference is almost nothing. Like, it's so little, but there's this like obsession in the Dota scene with, oh, let's try to use Midas non-stop so I can be as efficient as possible. And of course it's nice, but if you put yourself at risk of dying, or you're like obsessed with using it instantly instead of waiting 5 seconds for a better creep to spawn, you're shooting yourself in the foot, basically. Like, the value of it isn't that ridiculous. Tide top. Gonna get Malefist and Black Hole, actually.
Pull him in and the call down, everything they've possibly got to kill him before the Ravage can come out. And Charles will get it off with the one charge. He'll still end up dying, but a board time for the rest of LGD to move over. And Jara comes to TP out. No! The stroke from Nova. It reaches in time, and Ninja Buki has no TP scroll available, so he has to go bush. And just hide. That is not what mineski were definitely looking for. They committed everything they had to kill that Tidehunter, and he still tanked through long enough.
Oh, he got scanned out.
To get the Ravage, and
See
got
ya.
him. But hey, is buying efficiency for Moon's Midas now. He did a pretty damn good job of recovery. Like, LGD's 3 cores were so far ahead, and now he's actually in the 3rd position, nibbling on Razor's heals for net worth.
Razor's been moving around, and Dragon Knight took the mid tower, which gave him a lot of extra gold. And like you said, he's had 1 Midas usage too, so that's a bit of extra gold too. And then suddenly you're kind of back in the game.
It's the downside of the LGD lineup. Like, you really don't force towers down. Like, once Sven's got a lot more damage, then maybe it can happen. But they're also keeping tabs on him farming into the Radiant Obs. These 2 deep wards from mineski gave them so much information about LGD's farm pattern.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind, while Dragon Knight is recovering, this is a totally free send game. He has 10 CS per minute right now, and
yeah, who wants this? Put Moon towards the front lines. It's all for the bounty rune. Reggie Potato's not making a move for it. He won't get it. Moon gushed up as Somnus steals all the damage in the world with the extra slows. Moon just being body blocked by Charles, and this will buy time for Somnus to close the distance. And they'll find the kill, and actually Ragey Potato too. The stroke from X-Nova puts the silence on him, so Omni Knight, no way to heal, no way to grace, no way to do anything.
And right now, LGD are 10k gold ahead, more or less, in terms of... Oh, not true.
Yeah.
They're 7k gold ahead. Because Midas is kind of a dead item, right? But there's 1 on each team. So we can only count 1 surplus. In terms of what it gives for what it costs, it's, you know, compared to other items, it's just not as good, right? 40 attack speed for those 2k gold. You could have aura or, you know, a damage item or whatever. Stats, drums. With these 2 Midases, in terms of just raw teamfight power, an Enigma Midas does literally nothing instead of a mech that he could have bought instead. So you're making this commitment to go late, but it also means if you try for these rune fights, you just don't have so much in the tank. Your Dragon Knight is weak. He has attack speed, but he doesn't have the tankiness he could have from another item. And, well, that just means when you go to that rune and there's Razor, you're like, oh shit. And then you get run down and die. So
yeah, it's like you just don't want to fight until you actually get the item after Midas.
And despite the Midases, just look at the Sven. Like,
yeah. Nothing is stopping Arme. And there's been no way, like, you've watched it, but you can't stop it. The stacking of the jungle. 9.1k gold, 16 minutes in. This is
kind of the farm you would see in a relatively bad Alchemist game, which means it's really good.
Let's try and turn it around with a weird-ass analogy. That took too long to Quelling Blade that Sentry Ward. Arme's looking towards mid. That's going to help his CS. Takes out every single conversion the KP had, and now, well, he just
goodbye.
Blinks away. And LGD definitely looking to take that tier 1 tower in mid. Blink Dagger up on the Tidehunter, TPing in towards mid, so they are going to take this fight. Still no item over on Moon. Still no Aghanim Scepter on the Gyrocopter. And Enigma still short of the Blink Dagger.
mineski need to hold this tower. It's good that they're early with multiple heroes just in case, and that they protect it.
But look at him move down. LGD's like, okay, well, we can't take the tower.
Okay,
Let's look for KP, and he just summoned Conversion, sitting in the trees. Arme, he doesn't see him. Well, now he does.
Oh.
Wait, yep, now he does. I thought I saw something on the edge of the trees. Oh, he's actually taunting him before they kill him. Thanks, Somnus. Alright, so there's your Blink Dagger up, so DK gets his item after the Midas. And Enigma, before death, bought the headdress and the buckler, so actually going for a mech. And just going straight into the Blink BKB. Kind of surprising. I thought Reggie Potato would have gone down that line for the team.
Yeah, now that you're falling back for auras, I have even less faith in mineski having a timing soon, because the problem is either he could have gone for the mech before Midas, and they could have tried to fight with that timing around Gyro and Dragon Knight and Omni, but he went Midas, and now he's going back for the aura, so now they don't have the big items that he's going to need later.
Arme trying to use the end of the God Strength for Charles. Perfect Ravage with the Laguna Blade. Moon has nowhere near enough life to survive this, but maybe with the GA, he can buy some time to kill off X-Nova, and they'll get the TP away to safety for the Omni, but Moon still goes down. They were looking to be the aggressors with that Blink Dagger. And now Ninja Boogie can't even complete his TP up either. The Blink forward and Stormhammer from Arme.
What do you do now as mineski? Because you didn't go for the mech first. You went Midas first, and now you're falling back for mech. Do you feel like you can fight with this mech or with Greaves? Because I thought, okay, he's gonna go Midas. They will wait for Blink, maybe even Blink BKB, and then try to take a fight. Because fighting before will be too hard.
Yeah.
But now that it's a bit of both worlds, I don't know when the timing is. I think with this mech now, the fight is still really, really, really hard. And LGD can choose not to fight too. Let's not forget that. They can just farm jungle.
Yeah.
And force you to take the initiative, because this Sven can get a BKB and then they can go. I think you go.
If
Yep,
you're
go.
mineski,
You go.
Aghanim Scepter's up. They're smoked up and ready to go. Mech is on KP.
Yeah. Now that he's gone for mech, this is as good as it's going to get in the next 10 minutes. So it's now. You go now.
Yeah.
And if this fight fails, you are in big trouble.
Well, you have a 68-second window without the Ravage for the Rune Boot. Oh, the blink away so quick from Charles. They get rid of the ward. But Moon's Dragon form being burnt. They're not pushing the wave fast enough to get into the tier 2. And look instantly where Arme goes to. Like, he wants to clean up this wave in mid, push the tier 1 towers. They get a quick trade. Moon is starting to attack into X-Nova, just up north of the tier 2 tower. There's the support, it's arriving. Trying to actually connect the Dragon Knight. Cooldown's going to come in. Omni will have to be leashed up to a DK. He might be able to survive through this one with the mech heal. They actually do have the sustain. And breathe fire in the black hole. It caught Sven. It caught Tidehunter. They're all being trapped in with there's no Ravage. They don't have the team fight control. Ninja Boogie was delaying Somnus the longest he possibly could, but the BKB Razor has now finally come into the fight. He's only got 8 stolen damage. And that will allow Moon to TP away just in time. The plasma field doesn't do enough work. And LGD lose 2 big cores.
That was actually really, really nice from mineski. The black hole is perfect from KP. Getting the Sven in there was super important. Lina with the lens was able to stop it after 2.5 or 3 seconds, but that was enough to get the damage done. And yeah, it's a 2-for-2 trade, but you get the clearly favorable one going your way. You take advantage of that Ravage cooldown. Still got to be concerned though, that was a fight without Ravage. Imagine if...
Yeah, Ravage is up, you got to give it a lot more respect.
Yeah. But, can't fault them for anything there. I think they did everything correctly, pretty much in this play. mineski. Nope. They did a good job not getting soulbound. You'll see the start here. X-Nova is hoping to get the soulbind between the Dragon Knight and the Omni if Omni comes into cast spell, so he can silence them both. They Stormhammer, now they're connecting, but the silence already flies out, so it doesn't bind to the Omni, and it allows him to get all of his defensives off on Moon. They buy the time. There comes the beautiful black hole. There's the LSA, but damage is done. Chalice is dead. And Ame thinks he can take this fight, which it looks pretty convincing, right? He jumps and gets a good stun, but the turnaround is there, and this TP is what wins them the fight. It's 100% dead if he doesn't TP. And that would have been a 3-for-2 trade.
I'm also wondering how Razor only stole 8 damage, because he came into the fight. Like, this is, like, I think the first fight where we haven't seen Somnus with plus 200 damage stolen.
Did Omni have Force Staff? And that was the reveal of it? It could be?
I'm uncertain, but it was Ninja Boogie who was playing with him in the back lines. Because Ninja Boogie just, like, he was frostbiting, novering, keeping him away. LGD are coming for their own fight. Smoked up, moving fast. Moon. Blink Dagger is on cooldown for the moment. The smoke will break. He's now going to begin his own TP. Wow, they don't know. The blink down instead goes towards Ninja Boogie into the tier 1 tower, but Moon stays alive. Definitely the best case scenario for mineski. God's Strength has been burned. They'll fortify, just delay it. Tier 1 tower will still fall. Nothing was going to stop that. But LGD want this fight. Ravage is up. They need to force mineski. Moon doesn't want this either. Like, he's recipe away from BKB.
Yeah, I don't think mineski really have any interest in fighting here. But just trying to maybe slow them down a little bit. All right, they get cold feet and back out.
Yeah.
Because
bottom lane was pressured, but that's all.
I think mineski have recovered really nicely in this game, actually. It was starting to look rough, but this last fight top has bought them a lot of time, and the Midases are starting to ramp up their inefficiency here.
Also feels too like the itemization is arrived from mineski. Like Somnus, yeah, you've got your BKB, same for Arme, but if that black hole's able to connect from KP, and he's going for the Blink Dagger next, like, the BKB timing's just going to be very heavily wasted, and the physical damage for the Gyrocopter is still going to get through. As you said, he's that hybrid style.
You need to save a stun for Enigma at that point. When he has Dagger, you have to save a stun the whole time. It's too dangerous to not keep somebody out of range. Lina has plenty of time before it becomes a problem. Until Enigma has BKB, the lens stun is super easy to land from high range. He has the cast range talent as well as the lens, so yeah, the stun is... This is when Lina gets lens, it's like a different world. The hero just gets so much better. And you saw it in that top fight. The LSA that he landed on Enigma at that tower was actually only able to land so fast because of the lens. If not for that, the Sven would have died before the stun even came out.
Moon showing himself up on top. Charles and Arme know they really want to have a crack at that, but Raging Pretender's already TPing out. Moon will do his now too. And they're just adding a little bit of pressure onto the top lane, dragging LGD's attention so they can go for these bottom bounty runes, but LGD aren't giving it to them. Razor's already moved down, Charles has TP'd over under the cover of smoke, and the rest of LGD are running towards mid. Maybe these attacks coming out of the Fog of War might make them think something else is awry. Oh, Arme. Nice jump. Good kill. And that's 4 bounties.
I think mineski should have committed for one side. They had all spells ready, so they could have tried to protect their own runes at least.
They may have been worried about like that item not being there yet. The BKB now on Moon.
Yeah, a bit unlucky on the timing. If that's 1 minute or 30 seconds earlier, they might take that fight. They're walking through this ward. This is the second time you and I cast and we see this ward just being insane value.
Yep.
There's
it's always just out of range of the other sentries. But that's why, like, what team was it? And they always started playing the sentry in the middle of these trees. That way you're able to see over on the side and that side.
Not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember which team it was. I think it was on day 2. We saw it. Anyway, KP's got Blink Dagger. He's just looking at Somnus on the bottom lane. Can't do much about it because he's got no teammates near him. But thanks to that Observer Ward, LGD do know that Moon is alone on top. I'm just wondering what mineski's objective is. Like, as he said, like, LGD can just slow this down. They could just farm up on their side of the jungle. Ravage is up, so mineski feel intimidated by this. And now Sven's gonna build himself up an Orchid, so he's got an answer as well to this no BKB Enigma.
And he's got a really good answer to Omni Knight. This is a great item to go for here. I like the Bloodthorn with the Orchid first. Sometimes you'll see Sven's go Crystallis first. I think there's so much coming his way by getting the Orchid.
Tier 2 towers dropping real fast. FY will TP down to the bottom lane to defend it. But if mineski don't fight this, LGD can just keep well, taking tower after tower. There's only one remaining out of tower now. But mineski want to fight bottom lane. They're looking for FY in the trees. The Light Strike Array will reveal his position. Moon would have to go for a blind blink to make that work, but Ame's also TP'd in, and they look elsewhere. They look to X-Nova. Stun comes out nice and quick. They can at least get rid of that Soulbind and silence. X-Nova gets around the tree lines, got the Inkswell to protect him, while Sven down in the bottom river. They catch out Nico, and then the follow Light Strike Array onto the Omni Knight. KP knows he can blink Black Hole for heroes, but it won't matter because there's no follow-up from the rest of his team. Very heavily split. mineski looking for fights on both the north and the south.
Just got completely outmaneuvered. They maybe also got caught by surprise by this Lina Ags. There's so much burst damage blowing up this gyrocopter. Of course, when you get ravaged, there's not so much you can do about that. A whole lot you can do about that, you guys. There goes the tower. And suddenly LG with a really big win. 2 core kills, tower. Is re-establishing full map control.
And then they can just move towards Roshan if they want to. Maybe a little risky while Ravage is down, but...
Yeah, their lineup doesn't kill Rosh very easily without God Strength. Razor is not particularly good at Roshing, nor is support Lina. I mean, as far as supports go, she's pretty good because of the attack speed, but it's not like a core Lina that has damage items.
Yeah.
So they don't want to take the risk. I think it's totally fine not to go for that. Wait for next Ravage, play together, control the map. See if you can find another opening like that one. That was pretty much perfect.
Yeah.
With Grimstroke getting the information that he got, his team knew exactly what they needed to do, and they kind of make this pincer move where they come in from the back while he's distracting both the Dragon Knight and the Maiden. And even if Grimstroke dies, that's still a good fight for them. So
this doesn't feel right when Ninja Boogie's moving that aggressively towards the Razor. He's got a team slightly behind him. Gyrocopter's getting some much needed money. This is his BKB money. I'll give Nico a hell of a lot more confidence on top of the Tidehunter.
Remember when you said they don't have so much pushing power?
Yeah.
Razor took the Eye of the Storm interval talent on 20 and he's going Axe. That'll give you pushing power.
I remember the scary refresher Ag and Interceptors from Razor in the past. It's like if I need to go building damage, that's the build to go.
Yep.
LGD, they're all grouped up as well for a smoke. mineski's done the same thing, but difference is mineski sees them. If they had the Observer Ward down to Razor, just walk straight into it. The instant stun, they need to keep him perfectly chained, but now there's the issue with the BKB. He gets the Black Hole off. Is there a stun? There is to control him, and then the Ravage in through the rear. mineski, 3 heroes caught out by that one. KP's mech won't do anywhere near enough of a heal. Chalice being pushed away by Nico. His BKB allowed him to stand up there with the flag cannon, and LGD did lose out on 2. Moon still standing his own ground. Ame BKB wearing off in half a second, and now they all have to be retreated out, but Moon blinks forward, and look at him actually blink in. Ame just goes for the kill with Laguna Blade. FY just pumping out the damage with the control. Dragon Knight's in trouble, but now Ninja Boogie letting it go. Has he got enough to actually kill off the support? No, he'll get stunned up as well. That's a dive back for the Crystal Maiden. And the supports of LGD are the ones that stand strong as all the cores of LGD are pushing up the daisies.
Oh, the 4th core is alive, right? Lina with farm is such a pleasure to play as position 4. It is so good. FY's damage output in that fight was insane. Look at it. It does as much damage as Sven. On the damage recap. Oh, I guess you can't see it right now. All right. So we're going to see the replay here. So basically, they run in the Razor as a bait. He has BKB ready. They get the Black Hole off, but there's no BKB on Enigma, so easy silence. Follow-up Ravage. Kind of overlapped a little bit here from LGD. Could have been a bit cleaner from Chalice, I think, this Ravage, and the fight would have been even easier. And, well, Moon and Nico Baby played a good fight. They did a lot of damage here, so actually kind of turned it back to a draw. And the end outcome of it was more or less no change, that Laguna, man. So high damage, so long range. And FY is now level 21, so he even has the 14% extra amplification of it now.
He just seems ridiculously strong for a support. But as you said, Nico and Moon both actually finding some damage output, and that BKB of KP, if it does arrive, that fight, I feel actually it goes even more differently. Like
it does for sure.
Because he doesn't get stunned, he doesn't get controlled, and that's a full duration Black Hole guaranteed.
That's it's the game-winning item. If mineski are going to win this game, it's because of that.
The crazy thing is how long it's taken to get there, because he had to go, well, he didn't have to, he did go the mech beforehand.
Yeah, without the mech, he would have had this quite a bit earlier, but...
LGD's going for Roshan. Ravage is still on cooldown for another 13 seconds, but Black Hole's down for 38. So Ninja Boogie wants to have a bit of a look. The Nova might be able to give him that extra information. But it was the Observer Board that was in the lane that let them know that LGD was already in the pit. Oh, Roshan dead in 2. 1. Moon jumps in! Dire! Moon actually snatches the Aegis to the Immortal, died to get the kill over on Roshan. Now the Ravage from Chalice comes out, but BKB's protecting most of the cause. Army into the Midnight Pulse, but with the God Strength up, he hits like an absolute hammer. Issues for the Gyrocopter, can't move away. No more protection for Nico without the BKB, and FY doesn't care as he just throws out Laguna after Laguna. Moon and Nico both down. That was not the fight they were looking for.
I think KB's in trouble too.
They just keep chasing in.
I know he's in trouble.
Nico, what have you got? Have you got a Frostbite? Create some space. KP can survive.
Ame actually couldn't make it for the stun. I thought he was going to reach.
You're going to need some buybacks from mineski.
Yeah, this is expensive. They have Black Hole.
Are they going to do it with Gyrocopter as well? He's got cooldown available as well as the BKB. Moon jumps in, gets done over on Razor KP. BKB's in. He's holding off on the Black Hole because Razor, well, do they feel like they've already got him? Somnus keeps the chase going. You got the homing missile with him too. All right, well, we'll just commit it. I don't think that was necessary, but either way, a kill's a kill. The Razor goes down.
Not sure what KP was scared of to go for that Black Hole there. If Razor doesn't have a dagger, he doesn't have Force Staff.
He didn't have a BKB.
There was no way he was escaping that, was there? There was a homing missile flying in, they had heroes right on his tail next to Malefice. And it might not seem like that big of a deal. You know, usually we say, you know, black holing for a core kill is great, but there's a few situations, like in this point of the game, late game, black holing for a hero that's kind of a guaranteed kill opens up a massive moment of opportunity for LGD. When Razor respawns, they have a full minute with no black hole, and they will have Ravage.
Yep.
So, gotta worry a little bit.
These long cooldown timings are just so critical.
So what's up next for LGD? When Razor spawns, I think we're going to see them group up, try to regain control of the enemy high ground area over the Ancients.
Moon. Oh. Trouble. Has to BKB. Okay. Ame's right behind him. The Blink Dagger's on cooldown for the moment, so he'll Dragon Tail stun. X-Nova can't do anything about it. Neither can Ame. He can crit the wave for 1300.
That's
and
decent.
that's all. Big props to Ninja Boogie too with his warding game. Like this Observer Ward, which is about to time out, is the full duration one, but it's allowed him to counter 2 Observer Wards from LGD and gave them the information around Roshan.
Yeah.
Even if that
too hot, though.
Yeah, it didn't go too hot, but at least they had the information. Yeah. You can't blame supports for that fight.
That is true. Oh, did we mention the hacks on Grimstroke?
We did not. All the Aghanim Scepter he's also got queued up.
This is the richest I've seen X-Nova in an eternity, I think. He is so farmed. He has 5,000 net worth advantage almost over Ninja Boogie's Crystal Maiden. 35 minutes in. Full Hex, he's going into Aghanims, so he can get an illusion of both Gyro and the Dragon Knight. The DK illusion is really nice when it's in Dragon form.
Yeah, Ame doesn't care about running up through mid. And for all the money X-Nova's got, Van is topping everybody. Rapidly approaching Butterfly. Alright, let's buff up FY even more. Mr. Refresher Orb double Laguna. He's also got Kaya coming out in the courier. LGD's ready to fight. Charles's Ravage is off cooldown. They may want to wait for that Kaya. It's on FY now. An Arcane Rune. Good for Ame, he's got God Strength in 10 seconds time. But it feels like mineski knows something's up.
Yeah. They played very safe. They have a good defensive ward to play around here. And if they wait just long enough, another 10 seconds, they will have Black Hole again. And LGD might be banking on it still being on cooldown, actually.
Yeah. 4, 3 seconds.
It's up.
And they can get a jump through the north. Sven showing himself in towards mid, so DK jumps quickly. Ame burns the BKB. This is huge for mineski. They didn't commit anything massive, but Moon now, you know, he has to burn his own BKB.
Yep, he's regretting that. I think Sven panicked BKB too. I think Moon missed the stun, actually. Oh no, oh no.
Oh, Nico. He doesn't have 5 back available in the Ravage. It hits the back lines. KP's caught in the double double Laguna through the Grimstroke. You didn't even need to refresh it for that one. And that may actually be the game. 100 seconds without the gyrocopter. LGD want to end it right now. This is beyond escalated quickly. This has just been an explosive moment. Moon jumps in. He's going after the Razor. The Blink BKB Black Hole from KP is looking good, but he's going to kill him. But no, FY! There's your pop damage. GG is called. FY supports a real thing with that Lina.
It's so satisfying. Double Laguna with Axe.